On today's episode, World's Toughest Mudder Champions Week begins with 6-time champion Ryan Atkins and 2-time champion Rea Kolbl. This is the World's Toughest Podcast. Welcome to the World's Toughest Podcast, where we talk about any obstacle course race you'd like, as long as that's World's Toughest Mudder. Each week we talk to members of the WTM community and share stories of success and failure in the single greatest event in OCR. My name is Will Hicks, and this is the World's Toughest Podcast. Welcome back to World's Toughest Podcast. Thank you for listening. My name is Will Hicks. You are listening to the #1 rated obstacle course racing podcast in the world. Because of listeners like you. Thank you so much. We're going to do something never before done in OCR podcasting this week. Not daily episodes, although we're doing that, but we've done that before. We are going to have Champions Week this week. Every day this week, we're going to talk with a different winner of World's Toughest Mudder. Today, we are talking with 6-time champion Ryan Atkins and your 2017-2018 women's back-to-back reigning champion, Rea Kolbl. Tomorrow is your 2018 men's winner, Christopher Mendoza. And Wednesday will be your 2016 women's winner, Stephanie Bishop. Stephanie is disappointed I don't have a song for her. So, Keith Allen, get on that. Thursday will be your 2016 men's winner, Trevor Psychos. And Friday is your 3-time women's champion from 2012, 2014, and 2015, Amelia Boone. Very excited about Champions Week. Over the 5 episodes this week, we will have 15 World's Toughest Mudder championships represented. How cool is that? Before we start, you can email me at willhicks@gmail.com. You can follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook by searching for World's Toughest Podcast. And you can be a part of the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts, and I will read it on a future episode. Toughest Mudder South was this past weekend, and we're going to talk about it, I promise. We're going to have a full recap episode about it. Trevor Psychos won for the men, and Brooke Berger won for the women. It was a great race on both the men's and women's side, and there was even some drama with lap distances. It turns out the laps were 5.5 miles long instead of 5 miles. So Team HQ announced that the contender laps would be different, or contender qualifications would be different, rather. Women that finished 6 laps, men that finished 7 laps, and relay teams that made 8 laps would qualify as contenders for World's Toughest. So if you make contender status, Team HQ is going to email you and let you know about that. But again, we're going to have a full episode about Toughest Mudder South soon. I need a favor from you. In the US store, the Apple Podcast store, we are 6 reviews shy of 150. Could you help us get to 150? I don't care who number 150 is. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm going to wait for 149. I'll be 150. No, I don't care about that. I care who 145 is, and 146, and 147, and 148, 149. When we get to 150, we will do some kind of giveaway. Do you want stickers? I will give you stickers. When we get to 150 review, if we get to 150 this week, Champions Week, we will do a sticker giveaway for anyone who's left a review on Apple Podcasts. So get us to 150 this week. When we get to 200, I will get some t-shirts made. We'll give away some t-shirts. You want a t-shirt? You want a World's Toughest Podcast t-shirt? What should that t-shirt say? Should it say 5 stars? Or should it just be the logo? Or should it be F these guys? Can you get me some more wine?
Will you bring me some more wine? Fuck these guys.
Anyway, 200 reviews by World's Toughest Mudder, and we'll give away a bunch of t-shirts. Don't start spamming Apple Podcasts with one-line reviews just to bump the number up. I don't want that. I'm not interested in that. I appreciate the thought. It's very kind, but that is not our style. 150 reviews this week, and we'll give away some stickers. 200 reviews by World's Toughest Mudder 2019, and we will give away some t-shirts. I'm going to need help with t-shirt design, though. I don't know what I'm doing with graphic arts. Send me your design idea, and if we use your idea for a t-shirt, you'll get the first one. You'll get the first two, and I'll autograph them. You want an autograph? It's worth nothing. willhicks@gmail.com. Send me your t-shirt ideas. Speaking of reviews, the wrong sound effect. Hang on. Speaking of reviews, here's the thing. I got a new soundboard, and it's great, but I got to figure out all the buttons. Speaking of reviews,
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars. 5 stars.
there it is. Our first review comes from Amazon.com. If you don't have an iPad or an iPhone, you can leave a review on Amazon. On Amazon, Stacked writes, 5 stars. I was so excited to find 3 new episodes of the podcast today. Just listened to the interview with Kyle McLaughlin, and I am really looking forward to the rest of 2019. Kyle was the first person I saw at Boston Tough Mudder, and Will is responsible for getting me and a friend to sign up for and show up prepared for WTM last year. Can't wait to see what World's Toughest Podcast and TMHQ have in store. Hashtag 5 stars. Hashtag 50-mile bib will be mine. Thank you. Stacked. Every Tough Mudder I go to, every toughest, especially World's Toughest, someone will come up and say something like that. Because of the podcast, I signed up for my first Tough Mudder, or I finally signed up for World's Toughest Mudder because of the podcast. And every single time I hear that, it makes me high. Like, it's difficult to describe the emotions. Ask any other podcast host, they'll tell you the exact same thing. Making the podcast is very solitary. I am sitting here alone in my recording studio and by myself. And you are by yourself on your run or driving in your car or washing dishes. I don't know. But when we get together in community and I hear that you are at World's Toughest Mudder or Toughest Mudder or wherever because of our little show here, I literally love you. Thank you. Thank you, Stacked. Be sure to find me at Worlds this year. Come by, say hi. If you'd like to be a part of the show like Stacked, you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Amazon.com also. On your Apple device, open the Purple Podcast app, search for World's Toughest Podcast, and then scroll down to click Write a Review. On Amazon, just search for World's Toughest Podcast, click our logo, and scroll down to click Write a Customer Review, and I will read it on a future episode. Ryan Atkins is the only 6-time champion of World's Toughest Mudder. No one else has won it more than 3 times, and no other man has won it more than twice. Atkins won his first title in 2013 with the first ever 100-mile performance at World's Toughest. He also won individual titles in 2014 and 2017, as well as winning team titles in 2015, 2016, and 2018. His 2016 team performance with Jon Albon of 105 miles earned them the bonus prize of $100,000. Atkins holds the individual mileage record with 110 miles in 2017. Ryan Atkins is undoubtedly the single greatest athlete in endurance OCR. Rea Kolbl is the reigning women's champion of World's Toughest Mudder. Her win in Atlanta in 2018 was a successful defense of her first win in Las Vegas in 2017. With her back-to-back wins in 2017 and 2018, she became the first back-to-back individual winner since Amelia Boone in 2014 and 2015. Kolbl's 90 miles in 2017 tied the record for a woman set by Amelia Boone in 2012. Kolbl is also the only past winner, along with Ryan Atkins, to win back-to-back individual titles at two different World's Toughest Mudder venues. Atkins won in 2013 in New Jersey and in 2014 in Las Vegas. Kolbl won in 2017 in Las Vegas and 2018 in Atlanta. I was able to catch up with Ryan and Rea when they were in Fiji just before they started on a team race together. I will let them tell you about it in our conversation. It's time to talk with Ryan Atkins and Rea Kolbl. Let's go to the phones. Rea Kolbl and Ryan Atkins, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks.
Between the two of you, I think you have 8 World's Toughest Championships between you. Is that right?
Yeah. Probably. I trust you with the math.
Ryan, you have 6, and Rea, you have 2. What are your guys' plans for World's Toughest this year?
Non-existent.
Yeah, unfortunately, neither of us are going, just with all the other races we're doing and their move away from more competitive events. It didn't make sense for myself, and I think the same thing for Rea.
Yeah, and I think after this adventure and then the 24-hour race in Sweden, I think I'm going to be pretty trashed, and we'll probably want to just do nothing for a few weeks after that.
Rea, you mentioned your upcoming adventure. What country are you in right now?
We're in Fiji.
What are you and Ryan Atkins about to do? We're about to do the Eco Challenge race, which is an adventure race. And it's non-stop format until the course is complete. And we're expecting it to be around 300 or 400 miles long. And we'll be on foot, in boats, on bikes, and doing some rope work as well, traveling around the islands of Fiji. So it's pretty exciting, pretty fun.
Yeah, the cutoff is 12 days. So we're going to be on course anytime up until 12 days.
And this is an actual race. This isn't like a complete it for the challenge of it. You're racing other teams.
Yeah, we're racing for 12 days.
Ryan, what's the longest race you've done before this?
24 hours. So it's a jump.
Ryan, have you done some races like this before?
Yeah, I've done a 4-day adventure race before. That was maybe 4 years ago or so. This is about double that. But, I mean, if you're like, once you've been going for 4 days, what's another 4, right?
And the first time I did the 24-hour race, the most I ran before was 15 miles. So I figured that's another jump of comparable scale.
You guys are part of a team. Tell me how the team came about.
So basically, I saw about the Eco Challenge, I guess when it was first announced. Would have been, maybe around this time last year. And I looked at it, I thought it'd be a lot of fun, but then I kind of looked at the dates and I said, it's right before Tahoe and it's going to be crazy, so I probably shouldn't do it. And then my friend Bob Miller, who I've worked with and done a bunch of training with, he lives near me, he reached out to me and he was like, hey man, you want to do this race? And I kind of hummed and hawed a bit, and he basically just kept like asking me and saying like how much fun it would be and this and that, and then I was like, all right, I'll do it. Sounds great. So so we got Bob, myself, another guy named Scott. He's kind of our paddling guru, and then we were looking for a girl, and Rea came to mind. I figured there would be no one else who would kind of push themselves as long and as hard as Rea would be willing to, and that she would be kind of perfect for the race. So that I reached out to her, and she basically said yes before I even asked her. So
yeah, I actually knew about the race before that too, and I also wanted to apply, but then didn't do it for the same reasons as Ryan, and also I had no idea to even figure out logistics, and if I applied, I'd be the team leader, which sounded very intimidating. So when Ryan asked, it was kind of like a dream come true, and I didn't really have to think about it at all.
Did you guys watch the Eco Challenge when you were kids? It was kind of a thing before even The Amazing Race and before a lot of these shows was the Eco Challenge.
I don't think I ever watched it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I watched it because Discovery was one of the few channels we actually got in Slovenia. So I saw it when I was little and thought it was super cool.
Rea, how do you prepare for a race like this?
Oh, what I did this summer was I had to get a bike. I had to learn how to mountain bike. So I did a lot of that. And my friend Trevor helped me with pretty much everything related to, because I didn't even know it started. And then I just did a lot of volume this summer. It was a lot harder than what it was before. So every day I'd put in like a 2-hour run, and then like I did a bike ride, like a 4-hour bike ride, or like a long hike, and then paddling and things like that. And then when we did team training in Adirondacks, they taught me how to rappel and how to climb up a rope, and we did a little bit of canoeing. So for me, it was mainly just high volume and a lot of it, and then trying to learn as many skills as I can. But yeah, it's like hard to tell if, like if you're ready or not for that kind of a challenge.
Ryan, what about you? How have you been training?
Yeah, I'd say my approach would be somewhat similar to Rea. I've got a bit more experience than her when it comes to mountain biking. And so I didn't need to like practice the skills probably as much as she did, but I just need to log more volume. And then I did a big 3-day kind of trek maybe about a month ago. So that was a good kind of prep, lots of time on feet, lots of sleep deprivation. And yeah, that kind of set me up well, I think, physically and mentally.
Sorry, there's a boat.
Yeah, we're at a seaport, so that was a horn. Yeah, it kind of set me up well to have the confidence to come in and do this race. And I think that with a race like this, you can prepare. It's kind of like World Toughest Mudder, to be honest. Like, all the preparation just makes it easier out there and makes the point when it gets hard maybe pushed back a little bit. So instead of on like it being really hard on day 2, if you like train really hard, maybe it'll be harder on day 3. But I think for everyone, it's gonna at some point you're gonna reach that moment when it gets super hard, and it just comes down to kind of mental strength and being willing to push, and that's my favorite part. So I just once it gets there, and then highs and lows and things you go through once you're at that stage.
And we have a team of 4 people, so my guess is like there's going to be somebody at their low points, probably at most times, especially later in the race. But it's good that you have 3 other people who might be at a little bit better spot at that moment in time that kind of pull you along, literally and figuratively. We actually have tow lines to pull people along.
Rea, I saw some pictures on your Instagram of the food you brought with you. Tell me about your nutrition plan.
Oh gosh, I have 57,000 calories with me right now. I just brought a lot of everything. So I brought a bunch of bars, a bunch of oatmeal bars, a bunch of gels, and then like here in Fiji now we're buying like more like savory food and snacks and chips and things like that weren't really convenient to bring over, and like dehydrated backcountry meals. But I'm not really sure if I'll want any of that like 3 days in. So that's like another thing that I want to see how it goes.
Will you be able to have supply stops, or do you have to carry everything with you?
Yeah, the way it works is there'll be checkpoints out on course that we have to navigate to, and then there'll also be kind of transition areas where we'll transition from one sport to the next. And at the transition areas, we're going to see our gear bins, which is where we can, maybe put our paddling gear away and get on a mountain bike or things like that. And when we do that, we'll be able to grab more food, and yeah, I guess that's about it. Food.
Will people be able to follow along on social, or is this kind of taped and then edited and then aired later?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is they're pretty tight-lipped about this whole production. It's all with Amazon and MGM Studios, and so they're doing it's made for TV. They're going to document it and have a program on it. So we can't really do many updates and stuff. We're going to find out more about that as we get, to the race and after the race, whether or not we can say how it went or that we survived or what we can divulge, and whatever we can divulge, we will, for sure.
So this is the first year since 2012, Ryan, that you will not have won World's Toughest. There's going to be a lot of people out there looking for a win in your absence. Since you're not going to be there, what advice would you give those guys?
Well, I'd say just like race your own race and enjoy yourself. And enjoy the experience, because like you only get to do it so many times. You only get to do an event like that so many times, and if you take it too seriously and you beat yourself up trying to like do a certain thing, you're just going to make it harder on yourself, and you probably won't achieve the result that you want to achieve if you kind of just be a little more relaxed and take everything in its stride out there.
Rea, this is the first year in 3 years you will not be the women's champion. What advice would you give the women out there who are looking for first place?
I think Ryan a lot of what I would say too, but I think one thing for me is like food. For me, these races are like as much of a like eating contest as they're running contest, because you have enough fitness to push you through if you feel your body. So it's one of those races that's very unforgiving if you fall behind on that very early in the race, where you might feel good and not feel hungry. Eat a lot, race happy, race your own race, and like Ryan said, embrace the experience, because there aren't many of those in your life, especially only one of the first times for each race.
Rea, do you have any sponsors you want to plug?
I do. I have Ascent Protein, which is my main sponsors and really lets me do all of those things full time. And Action and Spring Energy, which supplied 20,000 calories just for me for this race, and probably just as much for my teammates. And Dry Rope, which I also brought with me over here. And I don't know if I said Mudgear. Mudgear too, with all their socks.
Ryan, do you have any sponsors you'd like to plug?
For me, Human, who makes the Elite, are like kind of my biggest sponsor, and I'll be using their protein and their kind of immunity booster stuff out when I'm racing. And then Darn Tough really helped out with socks for the team for this race. And I feel like I'm forgetting some people, but we're both Spartan athletes, so they're a sponsor, and go to a Spartan race after you've done World's Toughest. So,
you guys have any last thoughts on your Eco Challenge race or World's Toughest Mudder?
I'm terrified, but really also excited, which is what I haven't felt in a long while, so it's exciting.
It's a good feeling to have.
Ryan Atkins and Rea Kolbl, thanks much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Special thanks to Ryan Atkins and Rea Kolbl for appearing in this episode. Well done, you two. Come back anytime. Basically, if you win World's Toughest Mudder, you can come on the show whenever you want. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to hear from Christopher Mendoza. And don't forget to leave a review for the show on Apple Podcasts. Remember, 150 reviews by the end of the week, and we're giving away some stickers. Hey, stay tuned for a couple seconds from now, and I got a little clip of Eco Challenge promo. I'm excited about the Eco Challenge. The race is over, but we won't know who won until next year. Amazon Prime 2020. 2-day shipping, and the movies are free. I will talk with you soon. Go spend time with someone you love.
Bear Grylls here. This is just to say I'm so excited to bring Eco Challenge to the world. In the ultimate race of physical and mental endurance, teams from around the world will test themselves against each other and against Mother Nature. To finish demands courage, skill, teamwork, and commitment. To win demands the extraordinary. This is Eco Challenge, the toughest race in the world.
We were coming up on things that were so dangerous that you wouldn't even imagine doing them in real life.
Standing tall, arms wide, surfing down the pavement.
4 strong people, men and women, black and white, gay and straight, different ages, different cultures, different continents.
Hello, we need immediate assistance on the bike course. He's getting ready to pass out.
Your team is only as fast as your slowest person.
Real high danger adventure.
An adventure like no other.
That is a little bit scary what goes through your mind up there.
I don't care if we're dead last. If we cross that finish line, it will all be worth it.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Puts things in perspective.